Before his conviction, Kris Wu's popularity soared to new heights, and it seemed like nothing could stop him. During this time, he made a big impact by releasing his highly successful And Terry's album, which had 7 songs that managed to reach the top 10 spots on the American iTunes chart. Kris Wu wasn't just a pop star to these people. He was a charismatic figure with a dedicated fan base who would do anything for him. He didn't limit himself to music. He also took on acting roles, which solidified his celebrity status. Kris Wu's remarkable success in China served as a launching pad for his entry into Hollywood. In 2017, he secured a significant role alongside Vin Diesel in a XXX movie, making his debut in American cinema. He appeared to be incredibly wealthy, owning 21 luxurious cars and luxury homes in Vancouver, Los Angeles, and Shanghai. However, beneath this glamorous exterior, Kris used his fame, looks, and status to manipulate young women and harm them. He managed to evade exposure for years and kept an innocent, humble image to the public and to his fans. Well, that was until a series of social media allegations ultimately brought him down. On July 8th of 2021, Meizhu, a 19-year-old Chinese aspiring actress, made a Weibo post where she accused Kris Wu of harming her and several other women, including minors. The number of alleged victims changed from 30 to 24 and eventually settled at 8 in her later posts. Kris ended up refuting all the allegations, but he faced consequences such as losing sponsorships and having his music and social media accounts removed from Chinese platforms. In November of 2022, Kris was convicted for his crimes by the court. He received a prison sentence of 1 year and 10 months for it, and an additional 11 years and 6 months for a different offense, which involved the harming of 3 intoxicated women at his home between November and December 2020. The court also determined that he would be deported from China, but this would probably happen after he completed his prison term, as reported by Reuters. Once his sentence was announced, Meizhu posted on her Weibo, "Finally, the day I've been waiting for. Though it is late, justice has been served." She went on to depict herself as an ordinary person who has shown a bit more courage. But how have things been ever since his conviction? Well, it's been a mess. There were some suspicions that Meizhu had lied about her accusations. There have been alleged leaked voice recordings in which Meizhu is heard admitting to faking her accusations in order to blackmail Kris. In one clip, she says that Kris didn't have any relations with underage females and claims that they didn't possess any concrete evidence, just something to scare him. There were also rumors that suggested that Meizhu made up these accusations with the intention of extorting 8 million yuan from Kris. Reports indicated that the individuals behind the leaking of these recordings were once very close to Meizhu, but turned against her when they realized that they were merely being manipulated. The situation got worse for Du, though, as accusations started spouting out of nowhere. In February of 2023, it was reported that Kris had appealed for a second trial. This time, he had allegedly found a witness who was willing to testify against Du, namely a Chinese influencer, Lian. The thing is that Lian claimed to have been a close friend of Du and said that she wanted to testify in court as a witness to confront Du for her alleged lies. In a detailed Weibo post, she claimed that Du had falsely accused Kris to get some money, but she also criticized Du for exploiting others' sympathy to hide her own wrongdoings. Lian went on to state that Du had victimized herself by using a fake ID to appear underage, and once she got some money, she had plastic surgery. Lian mentioned that Du used post-surgery photos to present herself as a pitiable individual who had undergone treatment. According to Lian, Du consistently adopted an innocent girl persona to enhance the credibility of her accusations. Lian pointed out that after Meizhu and Kris had Meizhu had proudly announced to her best friend Liu Mei Li that she was dating Kris Wu the very next day. However, 6 months later, Du changed her story and instead claimed that everything had happened without her consent. This made Lian wonder why, on the day she went out with Kris Wu, Du didn't leave with her friends who had allegedly tried to pull her away from the situation. Instead, Lian said that Du went into Kris's room and pretended to be drunk. Lian also questioned why Meizhu initially sought her help for revenge against someone she didn't like. In conclusion, Lian stated that she has decided to testify in court not only for her own sake, but also for the benefit of society. She also emphasized her desire to prevent alleged liars like Du from exploiting the internet and making such accusations for a shot at quick fame. She insisted that Kris should be held accountable for his actions, but said that Du should also hold responsibility for making such serious false accusations. However, considering the history between the two, her claims did not hold a lot of weight. It's actually important to note that when Du made her accusations against Kris, Lian, who was still friends with her at the time, openly supported her best friend on Weibo. But when their friendship soured, Lian started saying that Du was not a trustworthy person. So was she telling the truth, or was she just testifying to get back at Du for some reason or another? Around the same time, Meizhu was cast as the lead in the web drama Young Female Genius Detective, which drew a lot of backlash. An entertainment account had confirmed that Du would be appearing alongside Chinese actor Li Ten, and the news was then shared by other Weibo accounts. This news appeared to confirm the speculations that sprouted back in 2022 that Du had been planning to pursue a career in the entertainment entertainment industry as she had lost weight, taken dance classes, and did corrective dental surgery. However, the news brought in accusations that she was using the case against Kris Wu to gain fame, with one user bringing up Do's own words when she had claimed that she just wanted to be a normal person and didn't want to be affiliated with showbiz. While she still had overwhelming support, this update made a lot of people look at her differently, even wondering if she had been lying about some things to gain sympathy from the public. Then, in July of 2023, various international media outlets disclosed that Kris Wu was back in Beijing court to contest his previous conviction, indicating his intention to challenge the court's decision. Reports suggest that the trial took place in a single day to maintain privacy and protect the victims from public exposure. The verdict for the appeal is expected to be disclosed later, but either way, it doesn't seem like Kris is doing all that bad behind bars. According to an October 26 QQ report, Kris Wu recently crossed paths with a cousin who had a short stay in jail due to intoxication. During this period, Kris Wu's cousin allegedly had the chance to reunite with him and later shared insights into Kris's life behind bars. His cousin went on to disclose that Kris shared a prison cell with several other inmates with communal bathroom and toilet facilities. He apparently didn't receive any special treatment even though he used to be an idol, and occasionally met with an attorney to discuss the progress of his appeal case. However, it said that he's allowed to maintain long hair and is not obligated to shave his head. On ordinary days, Kris was allegedly tasked with sewing work and sometimes taking part in basketball games with fellow inmates. Other sources spoke of Kris's time in prison, revealing that he started his day at 8 a.m. and participated in group activities once he finished breakfast. These activities entailed crafting handmade items using sewing machines and lasted until 5 p.m. with a lunch break. Kris also actively engaged in personal pursuits, including composing music and taking part in cultural performances, which might help him accumulate credits that could lead to early release or parole. Nonetheless, an authority clarified that a reduction in the sentence is unattainable without acknowledging the crimes and expressing remorse, which, as you know, hasn't happened yet. As for Meizhu, her whereabouts are unknown to this day. There hasn't been any official update on what she's been doing, except for reports that she was suing people, which emerged back in July. When Do came out with her story, online users expressed their support, praising her bravery, and at the same time, defended her against Kris's fans. However, this support seemingly backfired, as in 2021, Wu Juan, the head of an advertising agency in Shanghai, was slapped with a lawsuit from Do. It was alleged that Do demanded 15,000 yuan for using 2 photos of Do in one of her posts. According to legal documents reviewed by media outlet Sixth Tone, Do's lawyer argued that Do's image now had gained significant commercial value. The lawyer accused Wu Juan of using Do's image without permission to drive traffic to Wu's social media and business. The lawsuit demanded that Wu Juan remove the contested post and issue a month-long public apology to Do on her WeChat account. Wu Juan said to have been surprised at being served with the lawsuit, and even found out that more than 60 individuals and companies claimed to have been sued by Do, with some settling out of court, which made their cases not appear in China's legal records. People have been criticizing Do for this move, but the reports haven't been confirmed, nor did they come from a reliable source. The case is obviously far from done, even though we haven't had any updates from the court yet. The verdict of the appeal has yet to be announced, so stay tuned for more news on the case. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!